Hare Krishna. To fight for what is right is right. The Bhagavad-gita begins with a drastic situation where Arjuna, when confronted with a fratricidal war, tries to choose pacifism, where he feels that better I don't fight. However, Krishna urges him to fight. Krishna urges him that you should not lose the opportunity to fight just because you should not give in to weakness. And kutastva kashmalam idam vishame samupastitam anarjushtam aswargyam akirtikaram arjuna klaibyam masmagamah partha naitatvayupapadyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktvotishtha parantapa. So in the Bhagavad-gita, second chapter, second and third verses, Krishna says that kutastva kashmalamidam. From where is this kashmala? From where is this dirt, this contamination come upon you? Vishame samapasthitam, at a very important moment when you should be at your best, you are losing your nerves and you are becoming your worst. Why did you do this? Anaryajishtam aswargyam. Why have you let this come upon you? This is not becoming your status as Arya. Aswargyam. This will not lead you to heaven. Akirtikaram Arjuna. It will lead you only to infamy of Arjuna. And therefore, he says, next verse he says, Klaibyam masmagamah partha. Oh Arjuna, do not give in to klaibya, do not give in to unmanly weakness like this. Naitatvai upapadyate. This does not become you. Shudram hridaya daurbalyam. Shudram hridaya daurbalyam. This is Shudram. This is low level weakness of the heart. Tyaktvotishtha parantapa. Give it up and rise and fight. So here Krishna is telling that Arjuna, remember who you are, remember what you are meant to achieve, remember that your cause is right, remember that your values are right, and therefore fight. So as a matter of principle, we may not want unnecessary fights. Fights cause injury, fight cause pain, and we want to avoid that. But when there is injustice, at that time, to allow injustice to go unchallenged, that may actually cause far greater suffering, problems and suffering. And so to allow injustice to go unchallenged is actually to let injustice occur and to let injustice expand. So therefore, what we need to do is recognize that to fight for what is right is right. So fighting may not always be good, but when the cause is right, at that time we need to fight. So Arjuna's considerateness and not wanting to kill his relatives is good. But when those relatives are not acting like relatives, when those relatives have become malicious, malevolent, vicious even, and they have disrobed his wife, they have tried to murder them, and they are going to foist adharma on the whole kingdom, at that time for Arjuna to fight is right. Similarly in our life, it is not that just because we become spiritual, that means that we should become pacifist and we should avoid all confrontation and we should just always take the path of least resistance and least confrontation. Yes, we should avoid unnecessary confrontations, but sometimes we may have to fight, and at that time we should not just run away from the fight and think that avoiding the fight is spiritual, as Arjuna was thinking. We have to carefully understand the situation, we have to carefully understand what is the best way we can contribute and serve in that situation, and then make the right choice. So we may have to choose our battles. We cannot fight everything that is going wrong in the world. So we definitely have to choose our battles. But after we choose our battles, we definitely need to fight. So overall, the message of the Bhagavad-gita is neither a book of violence nor a book of silence. It is a book of transcendence. The Bhagavad-gita talks about how we can strive for transcendence, and in that particular context for Arjuna, he had to strive for transcendence for fighting. So the rightness of Arjuna's cause was not just from the political perspective that the Kauravas had dispossessed them and dishonored their wife, but the rightness of his cause was that he was fighting for dharma and Krishna wanted him to fight. So ultimately, for us, we may have to fight outer inimical forces, and we have to fight inner inimical forces. And all this fight, we should know is right. Although it is difficult, it is essential, and it will be fulfilling. Especially when we fight internally and attain victory in the inner fight, that will be supremely fulfilling, because by attaining victory in the inner fight, by serving Krishna diligently, we attain lasting happiness. And that lasting happiness of pure love for Krishna is like supreme fulfillment. And that right to everlasting happiness which we all have, we will attain that when we fight for what is right. Thank you. Hare Krishna.